Welcome to Byte-Sized Agency Briefs, a webinar series that packs a ton of important agency information on one topic from one expert into a 25-minute brief. Why 25 minutes? Because who has the attention span for much more these days? And you can squeeze in a listen between meetings with time for a bathroom break or coffee refill before your next meeting.
Thanks for tuning in. This is Byte-Sized Agency Briefs. I'm your host, Steve Guberman from Agency Outside, where I coach agency owners to build the agency of their dreams. Today, I'm excited to be talking with Matt Wolach from Ringbot.io. They're an SMS marketing for agencies and their clients. And I guess when you're not doing that full-time, you're also coaching leaders in the SaaS space because you've got experience there, and that makes a ton of sense. So, Matt, thanks for joining me. Good to meet you, or see you again.
Good to see you too, Steve. I'm super excited for this chat.
Yeah. So talk about Ringbot, because I think it's a pretty cool system, and more than like the system itself, your experience as a founder and leader.
Yeah, for sure. Ringbot is a system that marketing agencies use, a few hundred of them around the country, basically to help their clients get better results. It has a widget that goes on the website for the clients. It has broadcast capabilities, so you can send out a mass blast of text. It has all kinds of automations built in that really make it so as an agency, you can give your clients something that's going to generate better results for them. And of course, as an agency, that's your whole goal. And so what we've seen is that agencies are able to charge for being able to give this tool to them. They white label it, so they don't have to show it as another product. It looks like theirs. And their clients are staying longer because now that they have something else that the agency's helping them with and something else that's generating results, they don't want to leave. And so it's been really successful for these agencies. It's been a lot of fun working with them too.
So is your background in the SMS marketing space, or more like just generally in the agency space?
My background's more in kind of like general software space. I've had a few software companies myself all over the place, but I've always been focused on growth, and marketing and sales are really a passion of mine. And so anything around there is great. And so I've worked with agencies for quite a while. I've helped them. I've kind of, brought them along, and a lot of people we have are taking some of my tactics that have worked for so long. A lot of our members are using them themselves and finding great success in terms of generating leads for themselves, getting clients on board, getting those clients to get amazing results, and growing their agency.
Yeah. And you had a few exits before Ringbot, right? You maybe talk for a minute or two about what that experience or those experiences were like for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're owning a business of any kind, it's super cool if you can get an exit, if you can get an opportunity for somebody to purchase that from you. And along the way, it didn't always look like that was going to happen. There were some rough struggles. There were some times when things weren't quite going our way, and I think that kind of helped mold me and not only build character, but kind of showed me not only what works in terms of growing a business, but also what doesn't work. And I think that figuring out what doesn't work is half the battle. If you're starting to do something and that's not going to be something that's productive and help you grow, then you could be putting in money and time and effort into something that's never going to get you anywhere. And so in my early days, figuring that out was just as important as the rest. But yeah, fortunately, we did figure it out. And that's kind of what I coach with. I know you do the same, Steve, is I kind of show software company owners, since I was that, how they can grow, how they can improve their business and get past some of those early hurdles.
Are there, and maybe this might be too vague, but are there some like actual red flags that kind of ring a bell for you that are like, yeah, these are things that I need to watch out for as whether it's an agency owner or somebody's running a SaaS company?
I would say, are you talking about if you're the owner, like what should you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say if you're thinking about like your marketing and you start marketing about, hey, let's say if you make it all about you or your company, your buyers, your market, your prospects, they don't care about you. They care about their results. And so a lot of times people say, oh, well, we do ads and we'll help you put the ads together and we do all this. They don't care. They want the results. Like, talk about what results have you been able to help others get, and how you know this industry so well that it's become a very simple process for you to be able to create this and do this. And I think when people understand that and kind of switch from talking all about them to speaking to the challenges that the market is facing and the goals that they're trying to achieve, things become a lot easier.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's truly accurate. It reminds me like the two questions when I get on a call with an agency owner, and they're like, "Oh, I'd love to be able to sell." Well, can your business run without you? Yeah, maybe some days. Can it grow without you? And that's to your point. Like, take the owner out of the picture. What do you really have left? And if the owner is still the linchpin for all things accounts, all things growth, all things systems, cleaning the kitchen, whatever, then it's not really something that's truly an acquirable asset. Um, so shifting gears in the SMS space and kind of the stickiness that it brings to for agencies, how are you seeing that as a sale when so many consumers are like guarding data? Apple, said you can't text me or you can't interfere with my apps. And what was that, iOS 14 now? So how is it working out with SMS for you and Ringbot?
Yeah, good question. First of all, a lot of people come to me like, "Hey, I just want to acquire a list and start blasting this list with text." And we always say that's not a good idea. Like cold
Yeah.
text, we don't recommend. It's not. First of all, it's extremely in many places non-compliant, but also it's just it feels horrible to the receiver. However, warm texts are desired. In fact, 71% of people want to be able to have conversations with their vendors via text. There's all kinds of push there, and what we've seen is that people feel much better. Things happen much more quickly when they're able to communicate with their companies they're working with through text. I got my roof done last summer. 3 companies we bid, and they all came in, they all had their stuff and all these bids, they're all about the same. But one guy in particular would text me every so often, "Hey, just want to make sure that you have everything you need," or, "Hey, do you have a full understanding of what the process will be like?" He would just send me little texts here and there. And it was so easy to communicate with him. Guess who won the deal? Yeah, that guy. It became so simple. And that's kind of what we're saying is somebody within your pipeline who you're trying to get to become a client, hey, a text here and there, mixing it up with email, maybe a personalized message with a video, maybe a LinkedIn message. If you mix it and cross-channel it, it's going to be much more effective than just, "Hey, let me just blast them some emails every few days and hope that they sign up with me." It doesn't work. Same thing for people who are already your customers. They really appreciate some quick, easy interaction like a text. Obviously, you may have chat. The problem with chat that a lot of people have found is, for one, most of it is chat bots. And so you might have that chat on your site. I hate it when I go in there and I put in like a question. I'm trying to get some support and it gives me, "Oh, does this article answer your question?" I'm like, "No, that's not at all what I wanted." And it just becomes very difficult. The other thing with chat is you might start a chat and then it says, "Okay, you're number 8 in line," because it is a live chat. That's great. Well, then I get kind of bored and I have a million tabs and super ADD. And so I start going all over these tabs and I walk away and I come back 20 minutes later and the chat's like, "Oh, sorry, we missed you. Bye." I'm like, "Oh no, I got to start all over again." Instead, ours is a text-based widget on the website. And so once you start the conversation through the website, everything else that comes back comes into your phone on text. And so if you walk away, if you're out doing something, everything's right there. And 90% of texts are open within 90 seconds. So for an agency owner, you know that your market is going to see stuff when you send it that way.
Wow, 90%. My son is not included in that 90%. It takes him days to get back to me. But I like that you're talking about more like the conversational vendor partner relationship as opposed to blasting out like there's a sandwich company I won't name that I'll get messages, "Hey, tomorrow is double point Tuesdays," or whatever the heck it is. I don't mind that as much, but you're really talking more about the conversational lead gen as part of the funnel building process.
Yes. And once they're already part of your funnel, once they're already within your pipeline, having that conversation in a one-on-one way is the best thing you can do. And a text is a great, easy way that everybody's already familiar with. I just saw a stat, 97% of Americans are texting. 97%. Wow. That includes all those people in nursery homes and all that. So people are texting. It's what it is. I mean, I text with my mom. My wife's grandma was 93 before she died last year. She was texting with my wife all the time. I mean, it is what it is. So we're here. And if you're not texting, you're behind. That's not to say that you can't create a mass send. We have a broadcast capability. And the broadcast means that's where you can get people who have opted in to get some text. So I have one that I get from a pizza place locally every Friday without fail, and they've got some sort of deal that Friday. Like if you order a 12-inch, you get a free 10-inch, whatever it is. So guess how many times we order pizza on those Fridays all the time because of that. And one of our clients, Tracy, She had her client set up, just got the client set up. The first broadcast that she did with that client to their already warm, group of people, the client sold $170,000 worth of products in 3 days.
Wow.
From one text campaign.
At what ticket item level? Like what's the demographic? What's the ticket item size?
This was like photography equipment is her niche. That's
okay.
What a cool agency, right? Like she has such a tight niche that it's only photography type companies. So I'm sure the products, I don't know exactly what they were, but maybe between $500 and $1,000 each. Not sure.
Okay.
But the cool thing is, if you're an agency and you're putting together a campaign for your client, email based campaigns, they're great. Like we still use them ourselves, but the open rates are diminishing. In fact, the studies just came out last year. It was 21% open rate on average for an email campaign that goes out. Text campaigns are 98% open rate. So if you want somebody to actually see the campaign that you've put together for your client and put a lot of effort into, 98% sounds a lot better than a 21%.
So yeah, I mean, listen, that's kind of a no-brainer. Are you able to send as rich of content as like you would an email blast through a MailChimp or something like that? Or is it just text-based?
It would not be as rich for sure. Yes, you can include pictures, but it's definitely not going to have that cool, pretty, full email build out. But I would also venture to say that sometimes people don't appreciate that. For me, when I get one that looks like it's from a company and has all these pretty splashy pictures, I'm like, When I get one that's from a person and it's like, hey, it's Steve, I was just thinking about you the other day. Have you guys thought about this or that? Yeah. Even if maybe later I realize it wasn't really a personalized message, it was more of a thing. But that's actually what I do in our business is we send it from a person. People like to buy from people. And I think with the text, it feels that way.
Yeah, no, agreed. It's got to be that personal connection, and all the noise that's out there, graphics and animated GIFs and whatever in an email builder versus here's an opportunity, 3 lines in a text message. So what are some of the things that agencies need to be aware of or that they can start to kind of take advantage of to move into the SMS marketing space, as far as policies, procedures? GDPR isn't a thing in America, but there are still some guidelines, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said before, you don't want to do any cold stuff. That's not a good idea. And once people opt out, definitely opt them out. Our system handles that automatically. But if you're using it on your own, definitely do that. The other thing that a lot of people don't think of, and maybe you have a sales team, 3, 4, 10 people, is they hear us say text, like, okay, we're going to do it. And the people start texting. But then what if you text on your own devices and your salesperson is having these conversations with their market, and then all of a sudden the salesperson quits and leaves? All of those conversations that they had with their prospects and maybe customers that you got are now gone. And you have no idea what the interactions were. With a system like ours, all of it's captured within the system. So they leave, you just turn off their login and you still have all of those interactions and you can pick up from where they left off.
So it's not on the salesperson's personal device. It's through a web-enabled system of some sort.
Exactly. Of course, they can access it through their device, but everything is captured within your system that you still own. Yeah.
And you're seeing success with this in B2B, B2C, B2B, NC, D2C, like across all channels.
Yeah. So the one I gave you earlier, Tracy, she's helping a client who services the consumer, B2C. Another one, Dom, he is an SEO agency, and they put the widget on the website because their client wasn't getting good traffic capture, right? First of all, that's a major, major thing. If you're an agency and you're either doing websites or SEO or anything driving traffic to a site, you've got to capture the traffic. You've got to capture the lead. In fact, I have a contact, a colleague, more of a partner, and he says lead capture is much more important than lead generation. You've got to actually make sure you can get them. What the widget does is it actually is shown to capture about 50% more traffic than just your website alone. It pops up. It says, hey, do you have any questions, anything we can help with? And so this agency, Dom, they put it on their client's website, and that client went from 2 million per year to 40 million per year over the course of 2 years. And he credits this to that. It captured so many more leads for them.
Wow. And yeah, listen, that makes perfect sense that you want to capture people on your website because they've already found your website by whatever means they are there versus, lead gen. You're finding people that are unaware, totally cold, like you said, so it's a longer uphill battle on the cold stuff than it is on the warm. On that form, I guess on the widget on the website, it tells people, hey, we'll text you, give us your cell phone number. Is that the official opt-in opportunity?
It does. It pops up and says, what's your name? What's your phone number? What message do you have for us? And it says, we will send you a text with a response. And are you okay with that and all that stuff? So they do that. They opt in, they fill it out, and people are capturing so much more traffic with it. It's pretty cool to see.
Does that integrate with CRMs?
Yeah, so you can get it to integrate through Zapier. So an easy connection there. Our system kind of is a CRM already. It captures all of the data for the person. You can put in things like birthdays and anything else you might want to put in. But of course, if you want to get that into your CRM, you just zap it over. Super simple.
Zapier is brilliant. I love those middlewares that just connect and everything to everything. It's amazing.
Agreed.
So agencies are selling this as part of campaign-driven content. Are they duplicating efforts? Just try and cover all bases. Like, we'll send an SMS and email, or how do you recommend they play there?
I actually recommend you stagger it. So first of all, in terms of selling it to your clients, it's super easy. It's so nice to be like, hey, by the way, we have this extra tool. We have found that it's generating a whole bunch of extra revenue, and you're going to get this and this. It's $100. We're going to just add that onto your regular monthly fees. Is that cool? Yeah. So people are selling it at a very high clip to their clients. But then once you have it, now you have an opportunity. Okay, let's mix an email, and then the text is next, and then we're going to do a LinkedIn automation message, or maybe we're going to do that. You can put together a campaign very easily, and you have all these different channels to be able to use at your disposal. I mean, for an agency or for somebody who's working within the agency to help the client do that is so powerful. You've got so much going for you. So we're not saying only text. That's the only thing you should do. Absolutely mix it up.
Yeah. And listen, I think it's vital that agencies, and I think it's always been this way, but I'll say now more than ever, because why not? We're in the now, need to be presenting new ideas to their clients. And whether it's how do we leverage AI, how do we leverage SMS, I saw this billboard where whatever that idea is, even if it's not the best idea, showing clients that you're thinking of them off the clock, that you're presenting them ideas that could leverage, increase their brand awareness, increase their, customer retention rate, like whatever it is, show new ideas. And I think it's brilliant. I have heard instances of people using it. There's other tools I've heard of I won't mention, but I think that it is certainly great when you're thinking about full 360 campaigns. That 360 just keeps expanding with new tech, which is awesome.
I agree.
What are some of the slippery slope things that people on the agency side need to be aware of as far as integrating SMS marketing?
Just make sure I think what we just covered, you don't overdo it. Don't kill people. Keep it kind of the same cadence that you were using before that you found that works. Obviously, different target markets might have different cadences and delays between each message that work or don't work. Just make sure you don't. You're not adding this in and creating now more contact than you needed before. Use it just to kind of be its own contact line and keep it kind of spread. So if you're at a 3 days or a week out of each one, just make it that same exact thing. And I love that you just said, make sure that you are bringing new ideas to your clients. I think that that's one of the reasons why you're the best, Steve, is because you're doing something that others aren't thinking of. The standard agency, and I've worked with several of them, they don't do that. They're not going above and beyond and coming up with those ideas and being an extension of the team. They're just kind of doing what they were told to do. And doing that, bringing those extra ideas is what separates the best from the others.
Yeah, it makes clients feel special. Sure, they know they're not the only one, but let them think for a minute that they are. When it's time to raise rates, when it's time to renew, contracts, they'll think, oh, every quarter, Susan would bring me a new idea and we implemented it, and look what it did for our whatever raise. You're making somebody look good on their client side. So I just think it's vital to do that. It's just what account management really should be, not just showing reports and running away. So
I totally agree.
Yeah. Barrier for entry for agencies, super easy. Again, there's no lists that they're buying. They're implementing a tool for their clients. Then it's the uphill battle of getting the opt-ins, but that happens in a number of different ways, you're saying. So widget, what are other ways that they can build their client lists?
Lots of different ways. We actually are just publishing that this week to give people some good ideas. But one of them, I just did this myself. I was on a site. It was kind of like an e-commerce site. I was buying stuff, and it popped up and says, give us your cell phone and we'll send you a 50% offer for your first purchase. Do you want 50% off on your next purchase? I'm like, no, that sounds pretty cool. I'm about to buy something right now. So I put my number in. Now I get text from this company. I opted in. Yeah. So the whole idea is, again, we talked about it before. think about what they care about. If you know your market, if you know your ideal customer, focus on them and what they care about and give them something of value, and they're going to want to do it. So if you can figure out what would be valuable to them, let me give them something valuable, they're going to give you your cell phone.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I think that, the thing of value is vital. Am I willing to trade, it used to be, am I willing to trade an email address for that white paper download or for that whatever? Am I willing to trade my phone number for the idea of here's a coupon, but then they're going to send me more coupons? I did it. I'm a kind of a gardening nerd. And so I ordered some seeds, and same thing. It was a new website, and I don't think it was 50%. I'm a little jealous of that, but I did get a discount. It does annoy me after the first buy when they do it for the next one, because what if I only buy from you once? That's annoying. But make it personal, personal to that person's need, but make it worth the value of what am I willing to give my phone number for? A couple of points for a sandwich that I never have traded in points for ever doesn't for me work really. But
Agreed.
Yeah, so interesting ideas, man. I love it. I think that there's, the numbers you're saying are staggering differences between email and text. So I guess that can only continue to grow.
It is. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, and we kind of do a seminar where we're training a bunch of people, and we actually show an image that shows people's phones. You look at the phone, and the little mail message. It's kind of a joke on the internet if you look around, where it has like, oh, yeah, I've got 4,000 unread mail messages. Ha ha ha. And everybody kind of laughs about it. But if you look at that same image, the text message thing has no unread messages, because as soon as you get the message, and maybe your son notwithstanding, by the way, my daughter is like always on her phone. So maybe, I don't know, there's a son-daughter difference, but nobody really has a lot of unread text messages. And that's why agencies have found a way to kind of get through that email barrier and finally get to the end consumer.
Yeah, I love that, man. And that's what it's all about, getting to that consumer, showing their clients results, driving traffic, driving revenue. So awesome. Hey, I want to switch gears real quick, last few minutes, a couple of non-SMS questions for you. First one, real simple. What's for you, and it doesn't need to be professional, all these can be personal or professional, a new hobby or a book or a podcast or a show that you're like, can't get enough of these days?
Ooh, new show. I would say we're watching that show Shrinking on Apple TV.
Mm-hmm.
I found it to be pretty good. Also, Slow Horses. I'm a spy person, so Slow Horses, Gary Oldman, spy stuff. I think it's great.
I'll have to check that one out. Slow Horses. I don't know
that's
that
where
one.
I'd go. Yeah, it's
awesome.
Good.
What's a new tool that you recently kind of integrated into your daily flow, weekly flow, or whatever that you were like, I don't know how I lived without this thing before? Digital or physical?
We're using First Promoter for our affiliate marketing. It tracks all of our people who are sending referrals to us. It gives them automatic commissions. It takes care of the whole process. Before we were kind of doing that manually, which is yucky. So First Promoter has been really great for us in terms of tracking affiliates and affiliate commissions.
And that's integrated into your software, or that's kind of a standalone platform?
It's its own standalone platform, but yes, you can link it into your software, and people can just say, "Oh yeah, I want to send a referral," and they put in the information, they get the money if they sign up. It's all cool.
Very cool. I have to link to that. Awesome. And then finally, what's an invaluable piece of business advice that you want to just kind of share with the world, or our little piece of the world?
Yeah. So one of the things I tell everybody, as you know, Steve, we talked about, I'm a sales coach as well. I help people sell more. And my biggest thing is don't sell, help. If you help somebody and help them understand that they have a problem and that you can solve the problem, you're going to sell a lot more than if you actually just try and sell.
Love that. That is so timely. I appreciate that. Matt, always great to talk to you. Thank you very much for your time and for sharing your experience with what you're doing over at Ringbot. Thank you.
My pleasure, Steve. It was great.
Thanks again for tuning in to Byte-Sized Agency Briefs. As always, if you found value in this episode, chances are someone else will too. So please share it with your network. Also, if you know someone with expert knowledge on a topic that agency owners would love, drop me a note. Let's get them on. Finally, find someone to hug today.